every step we take in this direction of adopting electric vehicles. So, if, the various stakeholders, right? So, for us, from the manufacturer perspective, we are trying to make the products better so that people more and more like they find ease in adopting electric vehicles. At the same time, at the manufacturer level, the manufacturer has to provide electric vehicles, which these days we see a lot of issues with the quality of the electric vehicles that are being manufactured and imported from other countries. The products are imported from other countries. So these are not sustainable steps, definitely, and these are not the steps which have to be taken in the direction of sustainability. So sustainability, in the sense, these have to go on. So they have to last. So we have to create a lasting ecosystem for electric vehicles and electric vehicles adoption at large. So there will be roadblocks, there will be challenges, but whatever steps we take, they should be in align with what we see as a larger goal. That is that people should adopt electric vehicles. That should become mainstream. There should be more and more electric vehicles, more and more facilities to charge, and more infrastructure for electric vehicles that should come up. That should be there. So there is awareness gap. That's essentially what you're pointing out, and I must agree that is quite a thing. And see, how do we create awareness? One is we tell people, that it is better for these reasons, and then people they understand the implications. They see value in what you have proposed. So they kind of take it, and of course your credibility and things like that. But beyond that point, how is that, how do you create that awareness? So one is, of course, just telling people. The other is being that example by setting the example that you are using an electric vehicle, and then you set those examples. The other is coming to the other aspect, that is how do you assure them that it's going to be safe, it's going to be good, it's going to be all good. So that assurance comes when the manufacturing of electric vehicles or associated like chargers, all these actually go through certification processes and whatever is prescribed according to law. So that has to be adhered strictly. So that is so they are certifying authorities. All vehicles normally these days go for certification, get ICAT certification. Electric vehicles get ICAT certification. ICAT certification, and this actually assures. So it's a rigorous testing of the vehicles, right, under various performance conditions, and then ensuring that they work safely. So that is, once the certification is done, then it is safe to use. So as someone who is actually buying an electric vehicle, it is very important for them to check that it is certified, and see that whatever they're getting is as per the whatever certification or law is there. At the same time, there is something that I would say as a word of caution. Please be careful as to what kind of electric vehicle or what products are being bought, because I said there is a heavy import and heavy rush to actually use substandard products. So please be careful as a buyer. It's not safe for us to say this, but we always say that please ensure that the product quality is good, and the user has to check. Awareness is one thing, but there is, to be very honest, there is in the market lot of very substandard products which people are buying, again because of maybe lack of awareness. And when these products are failing, they are actually creating a bad reputation to the entire ecosystem, and people are rejecting electric vehicles. So recently I had a conversation with someone, and then they were looking to buy a, it's like a minivan kind of a thing. So I suggested them electric vehicle will be good because typically they want to use it at low speed. We have electric vehicles at high speeds also, not that electric vehicles don't work for high speeds, just that it's even more comfortable if you're working in the low speed range to have an electric vehicle. So I just told them, and everything was actually good. It perfectly suited their application. I just suggested. Then he just told me, we already have an electric vehicle, but it's failing too many times. I just don't want to buy an electric vehicle. That's it. And this is the kind of situation that is created because someone is trying to cut the costs, and or someone is trying to bring out products quickly in the market by just buying things which are very substandard. It creates a very bad situation for the entire ecosystem. So this is one person who said he would not buy the product. Imagine if he went and told people that electric vehicles are not at all good just because someone sold a very substandard product. And then, of course, I don't want to name the company or what all it was, but I also personally saw that vehicle, and then I knew it was quite substantially built. This is the question I'm asked everywhere. But I have only one answer for this question actually. Whoever thinks that they are fit to be an entrepreneur, you can take me as an example. Entrepreneurs are not born, or entrepreneurs are not someone who, it's not a natural trait. It can be definitely cultivated. It's not a natural trait. At least I didn't see myself as an entrepreneur or someone who could fit that bill few years back, at least 3-4 years back also maybe. So having said that, whoever thinks they are good to be an entrepreneur, it's not to be carried away with whatever you read in the paper and all. It's like, to just bring an analogy, if you just see someone who starts out and who starts acting and who goes to movies and all, inspiration is one thing, but you should definitely be committed to make that plunge and do things. Similarly, for entrepreneurship, you can definitely become an entrepreneur, but it requires a lot of understanding and a lot of discipline to make that cut. So if you're sure about that, if you're sure that you are willing to take that extra go that extra mile, definitely it is good to make a plunge. I know this question was, how do you advise women to become entrepreneurs? The reason I purposely left it out in my entire discussion is that whoever aspires to be an entrepreneur, you should always rise above the differences. You are a woman, you don't come from an affluent background, you are in a minority, you don't have many facilities. All this should never be at the back of your mind when you set out to be an entrepreneur, because whatever might be your situations, whatever might be the challenges that you have, or whatever might be the disadvantages that you are facing, you will always overcome that. Just if you're ready to make that extra effort and you're ready to take those hardships, that's it. Irrespective of whoever you are, you can be a woman, you can be just someone who was all their life was in technology R&D like I have been. All that is not just a disadvantage or something that needs a special focus. Yes, having said that, culturally we have certain inhibitions when women go to work. So there will be challenges when you also become an entrepreneur. You have some commitments at home, absolutely understood. But all these things can be managed and you can overcome them to become a successful entrepreneur. I've seen people do that. So I wouldn't say I'm a very great example there or something like that. But there are very people who have done that, and it's possible to do. Please never start with thinking you have some disadvantage or there's something you cannot do. Quite risky. But as I said, it requires your own conviction and belief to make that plunge. So there will be a lot of moments where you will feel you there will be setbacks, right? So it's not a smooth sail. There will be setbacks. So in this process, you should have that belief and conviction. So why are you doing it in the first place? Is it just to make money? If you're in there just to make money, then uh, you might as well do that very well. If you just get a good job and do very well in your career and make uh, quick progress up the ladder, that's easier to do if you're just in there for money. If you're just there for fame is not something which which is very it's like a bubble, it stays, but you can't assure that you are there for it's going to be always there. What happens after that? Are you going to be depressed or something like that? No. So what is that drives you to become an entrepreneur? Is it because you want to make a difference? Then is that difference that is driving you? Then you will definitely be able to do well. At the same time, you'll be able to take calculated risks. So risk as an entrepreneur, it is risky because there are a lot of things at stake. You are first and foremost thing, you have a product uh, which actually has to meet the required performance and has to do well. So you are responsible for whatever you deliver. You're also responsible to the team so that you actually have them always motivated, encouraged, and supported. You're also responsible for how the company is progressing on various accounts. All these responsibilities are there, so there is also risk associated with that. So with this greater responsibility, there are also greater risks, but we take calculated risks. So these calculated risks, the strength to take those calculated risks comes from that belief. What are you trying to do? Why are you trying to do? Okay, so that is more important, and once that is very much clear in your head as an entrepreneur, then you will be able to take these calculated risks and do well. Okay, don't get discouraged, but see, to be an entrepreneur right after college is something we see people doing it. It's not impossible, or it's not just not very unheard of. At the same time, there are a lot of things that we don't hear of also. So there are a lot of times that things don't go the way they don't go. So you should not be in that situation. Why? How can you not be in that situation? By understanding what are you doing it for, and why are you doing it for, and this always should guide you and motivate you and bring in the required discipline as an entrepreneur to achieve what you set your eyes on. First and foremost thing is that get your purpose clear. Why are you doing it? And once the purpose is clear, please give your 100% to it so that you will definitely do it and achieve.